Hello everyone, welcome back to ABI-DOS. Yesterday we did color test 3 and amplifier, and also unlocked challenge mode, so I've been going back and doing a couple of the early ones to see what the deal is there. So let's see what's going on with this Caesar. Oh yes, this is when I discovered I don't necessarily have to recycle. So what were we doing on this? It's like a filter, right? We only output them some of the time. If S1 is greater than 0, destroy the result. But actually you can just send it in a loop and it doesn't care. So we need the two of them to collide at right angles, I think. Oh, no, I guess not. Because already if you say, oh, I need them to be at right angles, you already have lost. Because that means you need a square that has a thing above and to the left or whatever, rotational equivalent. And those need to each output to the opposite, like across from that, right? In order for them to have different directions. And so you can't fit that in this, you've described like a plus shape. But I think you can actually have them pointed at each other. This is kind of neat, where which one is supposed to be the winner? So if S1 is bigger, throw it away. Now I don't think we can actually put this right in the middle anymore, but I think my idea is, if S0 is bigger, yeah, this actually looks kind of neat. So the idea is S1 is bound for the recycler, and S0 is bound for request new input, then output. Actually, wait. But I need both of them. So this would work if we didn't have timing problems, but we should, right? Yeah, this is gobbledygook. The U-bits from different inputs are getting mixed up with each other because I'm requesting one and then going over the top of this. But if somehow, like if I put this here, there's a 2 and a 39. The 39 is bigger, so its direction wins, and it has the output as a 41, requests something, and then is output. The problem is, we never get a new input once we recycle something. So this idea isn't quite right. I need... Really, I should just move on to a new puzzle, because I don't know if I'm learning any important techniques from this, but it's such a small puzzle. It seems like you should be able to do it, and obviously you can. I don't know. I mean, I guess this technique of pointing ports at each other, that is a technique that maybe I could want someday. What's the hint, by the way? Yeah, okay, I get that. I already did that. I didn't think it would be a hint to how to do it in challenge mode. Just thought I'd check. Like, you could... I don't know. You could do something like this, but then they don't, like, actually collide, right? They go past each other. So that's no good. So, the routing is very constrained in this tiny little box shape. We're not allowed to, like, is this just constraining where we can put icons or where we can put wires? I don't know. I assume both. But maybe if we could put some wires outside, we'd have some more wiggle room. Somehow. We need to request a new input, whether, no matter which U-bit wins. So, I mean, that sounds like... Okay, how many input, like... Technically, I could afford 2 of these if I could place them appropriately, right? Let's try to prove that there's no way to do it with 2 of these. Because, you know, you could imagine this solution here, like I was looking at, that almost works but doesn't because these two oppose one another. Like, because they're out of phase. They don't overlap with each other. Could there be something like this that does work, where they're in phase? I argue not, because there has to be something in between the 2 of these, right? It can't be the recycler, because then we would just recycle every input bit and do nothing. It can't be the output, because then we would just output everything, every sum, and never do any comparisons. And we saw already it can't be one of these, because then we request input bits at a time when our previous U-bits are still floating around in the system and they contaminate things. So, there can't be a gap of 1 between these 2 if I have 2 input icons. If I had only 1 input icon, this sort of looks like it works. It's not... There are other problems with this, but like it doesn't fail the constraint that I can't even get the bits to add together. That bit works, and I get them sent in a useful direction. But if I have 2 of these, there's no space on the whole wire for a blank. So we would have to put something in between the 2 of these, and it can't be this or this or this. Okay, is that a proof? Not quite, because I haven't yet disproven something like this, where the distance between these 2 has to be odd, or the number of spaces between them, let's say, has to be odd, if we're going to have the U-bits meet in the middle. But that doesn't mean a distance of 1. It could mean a distance of 3, and then maybe we could fit multiple things in here. But I think, again, if I put anything on any of these squares. Like, either of these two going in here is a problem. And at least one of them has to go in there, because only one of them can fit on this square. So, I think I can say, if I'm following through with this idea of having the two input ports pointing directly at each other on a single straight line, I can't use two request input things. Which means I only have one, if this is possible at all. And where can it be? We've already shown it can't be here. And if it's behind either one of these, doesn't it then only trigger if the respective function is activated? Like here it only triggers for outputting, and here it only triggers if I did this. If I did something like this, it would only trigger if we were deleting. So, where else could it be? I guess it's saying that this idea of having two of them pointing at each other on a continuous kind of ring, broken in perhaps one spot, just can't be correct. But what other idea is there? Because I thought I proved they have to point at each other. Because if you do this, well, okay, I mean, I guess I haven't super duper proved it. It just seems obviously false. Obviously impossible. But you could have something like this. Where one of them wants to go this way and the other one wants to go this way. I think this is basically the same as what I had before, but maybe there's something different about it. If 0 is bigger, we want to write the result. So the only advantage this would bring me, I think, would be if I could somehow arrange to put this in here. I don't think this actually does gain me that, because it means, once again, we're requesting an input every tick. And if we ever go this direction, we're going to have an issue. Even if I put in like a recycler back here or an outputter or whichever's right for this direction, we do some contaminated adding on this spot before we got there. So yeah, I just don't see how this is possible. Obviously it is possible because it's in the game, but I don't get it. So let's go try a new puzzle instead of refining an existing one, shall we? What is this? A gating circuit. This program sends a signal based on the content of 2 binary signals functioning as gates. 0 and 1 are binary signals that emit positive pulses with a value of 1 for single time slices only. Okay, don't really know what that means. I guess the one, there's never 2 1s in a row is what you're telling me? Okay. Populate S5, the output, according to these rules. If S1 is 1 now, and S0 was 1 previously, transmit S2. Otherwise, transmit 0. Okay. It actually seems like you would be able to do this with very high throughput, right? Like specifically infinity? Like you could do, you should be able to output this 1 per tick, I think. You just, like the overall structure, I believe, is you have like, you have 2 going over here. Let's actually say here. A line from 2 to 5 with a couple of programmable conveyors on it and an equals 0, or no, yeah, definer here. So if either one of the conditions is not satisfied, we get pushed down to here and cause the qubit to become 0 before we output it. And so then we just have to wire up these conveyors so that they're matching the right time slice from 0 and 1. So I think I can put in, I guess I can probably do that. Which one are we looking at first? S1 in the current time. Well, let's leave this on. I think I might actually be able to fit all this. So we need to look at an older value for S0. So which one do I actually, I'm confused. Like, okay, I imagine a structure looking sort of like this. With supposed to be checking equal 1. Equal 0 sensor, basically. So I'm imagining something like this. I don't know if I have 0 and 1 in the right place. I guess, okay, one way to think of it is that I want the first... I don't know. I want the... I think this should be the overall shape of things. I'm just not sure about... Wait, is this actually right? Let's see. So if this is equal to... What do I actually want to check? It was 1... Okay, so if it was 0... If it was equal to 1, turn these conveyors off. No. If it was equal to 0, turn this conveyor off. No. It's so hard for me to like keep the state A and B and like what the thing's default state is. It's so... Ugh. If I detect a 0, that means I don't want to output it. Okay, so if I detect a 1, I do want to output it. If I want to output it, I should turn these conveyors off, so they don't go down into the 0-bill. Now, I still think this is not right, but at least I think the logic on these conveyors is right. It's just the timing of them that I don't know, that I haven't understood, and therefore it seems quite unlikely I've gotten it right by accident. Well, 0 was 1 in the previous time slice. So I think these are backward, maybe? So let's imagine we're like time slice 10 or whatever. The 10th input comes in from all of these at the same time. Oh, what's the... This is OE10. This is OE20, so yeah, the signal will propagate before this has a chance to push. So the 10th input comes in. The 10th part of 1 is on this. At the same time, the 10th part of 2 is on this. So we're looking at the current time slice for S1. That looks correct. Meanwhile, the 9th, I need access to the 9th thing output from this? Where is it? If the 10th thing is here, the 9th thing must be here at the same time. Well, that's not where I want it. I want it there a tick later. So what if I did this? Now, when the 10th things are here, well, this thing did its job. So the 10th thing, this has gotten thrown away. This one's advanced to here. So the 10th item is here from 2, and here from 0. So the 9th thing must be here, controlling this. I think that looks right. Let's see what happens. What do you mean? I'm not allowed to put something there? Why would you do this to me? I see. Oh my god. Just give me a rotate function, man. Like... okay, let's hit undo a few times. I got lost. This, I think, is actually the right answer. Except that, like, the whole thing is rotated 90 degrees because I'm supposed to leave this space blank instead of this one. And without a rotate function, it is nightmarish. Like, it just is horrible to rotate a thing. Like, there's not a way to do that, right? Drags, deletes, like you just can't do it. I don't know. What if I grabbed all this and I mouse wheeled? No, that's not what I want. Oh man. Okay, well, turn this off and let's see if it makes any sense. I don't know. I'm not going to try to visualize it. Let's just like run and see if we get the right answer. It's looking good. God, look at those bits move. They're so sexy. Uh-oh. Errors, errors, mistakes. Stop. Right? Wasn't that a thing? Didn't something go wrong there? So what did I actually output? I output a 0, right? Oh, this is all hell. So here I put a 12. Like, everything was working. I guess because I was getting very clear, like, they were both on, right? And then the first time I made a mistake, was when this was on. It does say errors too. Alright, just like run. And where was the first error? It was here. So let's put a breakpoint like there, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god. I can't even set a breakpoint while the program is paused. Put one there. Run. I have no idea what this means. How am I supposed to debug this? There's just zeros and ones everywhere, man. I don't know. This was the first mistake? I really can't understand what I'm, like, what I'm being shown. Like, there. The first wrong one is at position 19. So a stop here, we should be one tick away from a mistake. We're about to output 15, but we should output 0 because S0 last tick was not set. Is that what we're supposed to look at? Yeah, S0. But I guess this means the error happened earlier. Okay, let's set another breakpoint further back. Here. Can I say here? When we get the 15 that we make the wrong choice with. Step. Step again. Where is this 15? Here it is. I'm very confused. Oh, right. Because this pointer here, the output pointer, is way behind the input pointers because we have a bunch of stuff buffered up in the system, kind of. Okay. But doesn't that mean if we're about to output a 15 we shouldn't have? Like, we read it ages ago, right? We wrote a 0. We should have written a 15. Okay, I think actually that might have been... breakpoint was sort of in the right place. No. I read 15, but that's of course the position. When we get the value 15 is here. So we get this 15. And everything that's just emerged from a port is in the same time slice as this 15. Like this 1 and this 0. So S1 is 1 in the current time slice. And that is what we care about, right? So 1 is 1 in the current time slice. Yeah, that's true. So this wire should turn this conveyor off, and the 15 should proceed to here. It does. Now, what about the previous time slice? That's this, isn't it? No. It's this. Because the 15 is now 2 steps from its port. Meaning the current slice is this 1 and this 0. And the previous slice is here. So this is an equal 0. I'm checking equal 1. So if S0 was 1 in the previous time slice, which it isn't, okay, so what is this equals to? They revert to state A. So should this not then revert to state A and send the 15 down into the toilet here? It does. Blah! The 15 went the wrong way. Oh, I thought I had this. Okay, there we go. You need to turn right. Okay, was that the issue? Yes. So we were doing all the right timing in math, we just sent something the wrong direction. And now the question is, do I really care enough about a little bookmark on my answer to rotate this all 90 degrees by hand? No, I do not. If you gave me a way to rotate things, I would do it, and then I'd have the right answer. But I am not. It just is horrible. You should not do that. I mean, you do whatever you want, obviously, but I'm not going to. I'm surprised, like, I mean, I don't know, we're doing pretty well on icons in space, but, like, you can do noticeably better than this, huh? Oh, well, I guess one obvious improvement would be to put the recycler here. Saves me 1 bit of space. But there's still like people who did it in way less space. That's amazing. Oh, here's a cute trick. You could do this with just 1 conveyor and 1 sensor, couldn't you? I like this idea. Okay, let's play around with this. Let's I don't know if I'm gonna need to have moved this, but instead of testing each of them separately, we could just add them together. Right? And then check whether the result is 2. And set 1 conveyor. And that actually is simple enough that maybe I will. How do you like delete stuff? I don't know. There's some keystroke to delete selection. Right click, doesn't work. Control X, I guess. I could cut the whole thing. Then I can't paste it, so... Or I don't want to paste it, I just want to delete it. Alright, whatever. Get all this junk out of here. So have these two facing each other, but add an offset so that, oh, is this right? This is not right. Care about the current thing in 1. Previous thing in 2. Okay, I don't know how to add 2 things. That's how dumb I am. We're getting something every tick. So why isn't it just, it is this, isn't it? Except I have to make it want to go down. Like this, right? So we add the current value of 1 with the previous value of 0. Yeah. Could even look like this, I guess. And I don't need it to go that way. This way would be fine. With a equals 2. Then I can just say like this. I guess I could do my get input here. I want to be on a conveyor that lines up with when this gets here, so they're the same kind of slice. That seems to make sense. Output there. My definer set to no. What am I supposed to do? Output 0. Yes. Otherwise, send 0. Right. So, this looks nice. Oops. Like that. So if they're equal to 2, meaning they were both 1 at the appropriate times, then I want this conveyor to turn off, which is what I've done, I think. Otherwise it stays on and sets it to 0. Great. Okay, so it turned out not to be so bad. Also, another thing I didn't really... The challenge mode didn't really act as the inspiration to get me to do something better. Rather, looking at the leaderboards did. But it wouldn't have been quite as hard as I was complaining about to rotate everything to fit here, because you actually don't have to rotate the top part. These control signals can stay as they are, and you can just mirror the bottom part, basically. So I could have done that. But I won't, because I already have one that passes the test and is great on icons in space. 90, high 90s. You can do a little bit better. Kind of hard to believe. Oh no, you can do a lot better than that, but better than this. Fewer icons than this. So, what happens if you divide 1 by 2? Apparently if you hold shift while you right click, you actually can delete everything. Okay. That's what I want to know. So what if... Or this already produces ones. Or 0. Okay. So what if I say... This is 1... and this is 2. No. There's a divider, rounds it down. It says so right there. I don't need to test that. So maybe that would be the key to doing this even better, is rather than using... Well... But I don't have a way to divide a qubit by a qubit, right? What I want to do is add these two numbers up, divide them by 2, which is fine, I can do that, and then multiply the output, this qubit by the qubit obtained by dividing these by 2. Because then I wouldn't need a sensor, a conveyor, and a definer. I would just need a divider and a multiplier. But I don't know a way to multiply 2 qubits. Oh, we have modulo. I forgot about that. Don't think that's relevant, is it? Because I could add these together, divide by 2 rounding down, getting either 1 or 0, something to multiply by. And then write that with a writer into like a divider that this thing passes through. But then the writer is taking up extra, like an extra icon. So I haven't actually saved any space. I have a divider, a multiplier, and a writer instead of a tester, a conveyor, and a definer. So I think that would save me a tiny bit of space. I wouldn't need this. This would be a divider. Well, I'd have to rearrange things a little. I'd need a divider here, and then this would be connected via a white divide or writer, and then the multiplier would be down here, and I would. Well, I mean, you know, let's see if that works. Save me a tiny bit of space, no icons. I'm really curious how someone did it with fewer icons. But let's copy that, put it here. And say... Are we not fast enough? So divide by 2. Write this. Into a multiplier. Does this make sense? I think so. Oh, hang on. I have to... This writer needs to be configured, right? So I need to put a 1 here to say write the thing in front of you by 1, i.e. this multiplier. Ah, whoops. I'm missing... the recycler, and should move now. No, I'm just writing zeros all the time. Great. Multipliers are OE20. Writers are like OE5. So this should write a 1 in here. We should multiply by 1 and output a 15, right? But it's actually the 18 I'm supposed to write. Where is this 18 even coming from? Yeah, okay. I'm doing the right outputs. I'm just shifted by a bit. I think it needs to be like this because, yeah, when this gets to here, this will be here, and that's where I want them. Okay. Yeah, so that's looking fine. Now, did I actually shave on any icons here? I'm kind of lost. I did not. Yeah, these two are the same in every regard. Well, that's what I thought. It's cute to do it with no red wires, though. what icon could... So... The recycler is kind of a candidate for removal somehow. It's hard to see how. Well... No, because this is a 0 or a 1, right? And so you could feed it back into here. But if it were a 1, it would disrupt operations. So... what if we took this other solution, our second, I think it was? No. Well, oh, here's an interesting idea. Let's go back to this. So actually, I think if I'm willing to lose some space, I can do this. Because I have here a value that is either 0... no, I can't quite. I was thinking, because if you have a divide by 2, and you run something through it that's either 0 or 1, you'll always get a 0 out. Great. And zeros can just fly around the U-bit network, like having no effect on anybody, and eventually get merged into some other packet, right? The problem is, when it gets to this divider, of course, there's already some other bits there waiting to be divided. And so we add a value that... if the bits that were already there were 0 and 1, that would result in 0. And then this extra bit we're sending could add another 1, making it result in 1, and that would be incorrect. But I think somehow the recycler might be the one you do without. Not smart enough, I think, to figure that one out. I don't see a way to, like, we have one request input that we need, clearly. And I don't see a way to use fewer than 3 of these. We have, like, add them up, divide by 2, and multiply by the S2 signal. The add is free, but the divide costs 1 icon, and the multiply costs effectively 2, because we need a writer. And then there was the conveyor-based solution, which took up more space. But used the same... Was it more space? I think it was the same, actually, somehow. Used the same number of icons. Oh, no, this is way more space. What? Yes, this is the one that... Actually, is this more space? It is, right? By 1? Because of this? I have 4 neutral colored icons. Ah, no, I need this as well, I see. Huh. Is there some way to make do without this? I'm not so sure. Alright, I mean, that's presumably enough exploration for one episode. Is that correct? Yeah, it's been an hour. We fiddled around with Caesar for a long time and never really got anywhere. And then Gating Circuit was an interesting and enjoyable puzzle. Speaking of enjoying, hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.